Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. This is John here. This is Pest Finders Professionals. And it's been a wee while since I've been on, since I've had a guest. If you haven't caught up with the last episode, then go and watch the Pest Pro University. It was an awesome episode. Really enjoyed discussing the extra training and curriculum and extra things that the Pest Pro University does actually for the industry. So make sure you go and check that out. Well, now, we're going to jump into something I think it's quite important that a lot of pest control operators forget about. And when we come right back, we're going to jump into how to use newsletters and why you should be why you should be using newsletters. And I'm amazed at how many people don't. When we go right back, we're going to jump right in. Okay, guys, welcome back. So as I said, we're going to jump right into this. I'm absolutely amazed, as I've said before, and I've been in this industry for a long time, and I'm absolutely flabbergasted at how many pest professionals and pest pro companies do not use newsletters. And the old excuse of people don't like to receive newsletters, and that's a bit of a fallacy. You're always going to have people that don't like newsletters. I mean, I don't like getting the amount of newsletters I get into my inbox all the time. However, there are some newsletters that I enjoy getting. There's some newsletters that are industry specific, not specific, that's the internet, but industry specific. All right. And I can't wait until I get these. I can't wait to get them so I can dive into maybe new things that's happening in the industry. And actually, I'm a massive photographer and a photography buff. So I'm signed up to absolutely shit tons of photography newsletters. I love them and I take them on. So why would you think that using newsletters for your pest control company is useless? It's not. And I've heard it so many times. I've heard it so many times from so many operators that say, nobody opens them, we don't have the time to do them, our people are a bit older, and they don't really like getting newsletters. But here's the difference. If you don't use them, then you've got nothing to lose by using them. And if you are using them, then there's things that you can tweak to make them better. And we'll go into that in a little bit. It's more about, but don't do the buy or die thing. So if you're not using them, what's the harm of you actually starting to use them? You'll be amazed at how a well-developed newsletter that actually gives a lot of value to your customers can actually be the difference between booking an extra few termite jobs or other jobs or inspections or even crawl space jobs, or it's just an excuse to say you don't use them. You don't have to put them out every week. There's no need for you to put them out every week. But you should put them out at least once a month. Or even, I've got a client actually, and we don't even do them once a month. We do them once every couple of months. And that's just, that works as well, right? It's not something that you should shy away from in your company. Case in point, one of my friends that runs a company, Jeff, you've heard, Jeff's been on this show a couple of times. He used a newsletter, helped him, let's craft this newsletter, put it out, something that's, never been really done as much before, and booked a load of mosquito jobs in it. And he would never have got those jobs hadn't he actually jumped on and did that, right? So how do you know if you've never used them? And then there's the people that say, well, they're older people, they're not going to get them. Come on, I can pick up, I can show you a picture now, right? Of the youth. I put it actually out on one of my other channels the other day, the youth of today. I was out on Sunday, we were getting breakfast, and we had to obviously wait in this area, and there was no youngsters there. I think I was the youngest there, right? And I'm in my 50s. Of course, I don't feel that way, but there was no youngsters there. I took a shot of everybody that was standing in that area, and every single one of them were on their phones, on their iPhones, on their Google phones, checking on social media. So don't tell me, right, that people are too old and they don't use it, because every person these days is online, including my granny, including your granny. Actually, my granny's dead. Obviously, including your granny and your granddad and everybody else. They're all on it, right? In fact, you can go into a local breakfast joint on a Sunday, or you can go into a dinner joint in the evening, and you'll probably find that the older clientele are just as much on their phones as the youngsters. And of course, they're the ones that are normally moaning that the youth of today are on social media too often, or the youth of today are always on their phones and not doing anything. I've got proof, right? I have got absolute proof. So with that being said, there's no reason why you can't develop a newsletter and send it out there. It's really important. But what kind of things you put in the newsletter? Well, for a start, don't go out and do the whole buy or die thing. You've heard me say this before. It's not all about selling. There's a time and a place, right? You've got to give, the way I like to look at it is a good 70-30. 70% value, 30% selling. And that doesn't mean in the one newsletter, right? Some newsletters you'll maybe put out and it'll be more value than anything else. And you might only have a link to maybe a special offer that you're doing. But it's important that you can educate the people. If you've got customers, and look, if you're a struggling pest control company, or you're a growing pest control company, or you've just started, right? You're going to have a wide and varied level of customers, from younger customers who maybe have apartments, who have their first home, to older customers who are pillars of the community, who have got businesses, who might have, you're doing pest control at their business and at their home, and they may be older. You may have people that are part of a church that utilize your services and in that community. So you can find benefit to give to every one of them, right? And everybody's going to be diverse. Not everybody's going to have a business. Not everybody's, somebody might be in a rental home. There's going to be estate agents that are going to use your services. Everybody's online these days and everybody's looking for a service. But what you give them, if you're giving them value, and you can go and maybe give them the top tips for your area. Not just generally, right? Not general pest control tips, because every pest control company is doing it. But let's say, you're in a local area. You could be somewhere, South Carolina, you could Florida, whatever it is. So let's say Florida, right? And it's coming up to, hurricane season. And maybe look at what the pests are in the area. What pests are going to be kind of moved by, the higher humidity? What pests are going to be a problem at that particular time? Does the change in the environment and the weather cause one particular pest to do another? For instance, here in North Carolina, there's certain times the termites are a problem throughout the whole year, really, in all honesty, but there's certain times that they swarm. And so, we'll put out a newsletter to say this is the swarming season, this is coming into swarming season, right? So you want to give them tips. You don't necessarily want to say, this is what you do, sign up for our monthly fee, sign up for this, because they're probably already customers, right? So you don't need to do that. But you might want to sell them a mosquito package, right? So you might want to just remind them of something. But before you hit them with that, maybe you give them the best tips on a particular pest. What I like to do is educate them, right? So I'm always working within our strategies to educate our people. So we'll maybe even send out a newsletter. One of the newsletters we sent out was about, let me think, Laurel spiders. I might be wrong on that, right? I might have actually said, but they were in Georgia, right? And they're an invasive spider, but they're becoming more problematical. They're spreading, and they're spreading down towards North Carolina. Same thing as we did with ticks as well, like ticks spreading into North Carolina. But there may be an instance that there's a particular interest in pest, and it might not be a pest that's invasive in the area at the time, but it might be a pest that's just interesting, right? And you can send out a newsletter with some interesting things about that pest. You can send, and then maybe put some tips about some other pests. So maybe you write about Joro spiders. That was it, right? Joro spiders. And they were invasive. They're going in Georgia, right? So we did a newsletter. Didn't actually do an article on it. Should have actually done that. But we did an article about Joro spiders. We also did an article in Pest Finder Pro about 10 more dangerous bugs in America as well, and we put that out on a newsletter on a different list. These are like interesting, almost like a National Geographic animal video, whatever it is you want to put out there. Interesting things that's not just about watch the ants, watch the spiders, watch the cockroaches, get us, sign up for the monthly deal, or sell. Educate, inform, give them value. Because when you educate, inform, and give them value, they're always going to remember you. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You might be going to them every month, right, or every quarter, and treating their place for spiders, or treating their place, general pest control, right, and for spiders, for cockroaches, for just general pest control. You might be doing termites and, running around and, treating the external area and maybe treating inside the home and going into the crawl space and, and they're happy with your service and they've given you reviews. But maybe there's something interesting in your newsletter that kind of hits them and they think, you know what? Harry down the road was looking for another pest, or he's having bother with these pests, so I'll refer them. So your newsletter can also be like a referral engine for you. It's not just about giving the tips. It's not just about upselling a package. It could just be about education that's in their mind psychologically. They go, you know what, Harry's looking for someone. Let me put these guys in touch, right? So there's plenty of reasons, ladies and gentlemen, for you using a newsletter. And there's many different ways to utilize the newsletter. And also, the other thing I want to talk about is the newsletter doesn't always have to be about pests. It could be about an event that you've attended. It could be something about a team building exercise you've done within the company. It could be something just funny, right? It could be something that kind of entertains, right? All of this is valid. And you might think, well, that's crazy because, why would they read that? Because you might entertain them and they're going to remember your pest control brand. They're going to remember your pest control company when somebody else is looking for the service. As I said, you don't have to do it every week. But once a month, once every quarter, put out a good newsletter. Doesn't take a lot. If you're working with somebody who's running your marketing for you, then, work together to put something together, something that's exciting, fun, dynamic, that they're going to like. I love doing things like this, right? I love thinking outside of the box. I love thinking about different ways that I can entertain the customers, or different ways that I can put more education out there. And if I see something that's really, like, recently did a massive, interest in an article on Asian tiger mosquitoes, invasive Asian tiger mosquitoes, because those little buggers can bite through your clothing, right? So it's not just about it's dangerous for the mosquitoes, everything else. What can you think about that? Well, that might be a good hook on your newsletter. That this bug, a kissing bug, why do they call it the kissing bug? Well, if it bites you, you're pretty much screwed with it as well. Or what about, again, the mosquito that bites through your clothing? I mean, that alone is just, wow, it's gone right through my t-shirt and it's biting me. That's some serious juju there. So these are all entertainment things that you want to put in, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to really think outside the box. It's not just, like I said, it's not just about selling. It's about education. It's about informing. It's about entertaining. Your pest control newsletter can be entertaining. It can be informing, education. And the biggest thing is it's going to create trust. That's the thing. And yes, you're going to get people that get so pissed off they don't want it and they're going to unsubscribe. But that doesn't matter, right? It happens all the time, but it really does make a difference. Even on the quiet seasons when you've got, you're trying to survive through quiet seasons in winter or something, you can still inform and entertain and keep your brand and your pest control company front of mind. Who knows? You may get more referrals. You may get more customers even on the quiet times. So think about it, guys. I just wanted to jump on there today just to give you a little bit of a something to think about. We're in spring. We're right into spring now. It's not long before really hot weather's going to be coming in, and we're going to be in summer, and the pests are going to be everywhere, right? So it's not too late to start now. It's not too late to start putting those wheels in motion to get something out there. Announce that you've got a good newsletter coming. Here's the other thing before we sign off, right? If you can't be bothered writing up a newsletter, and this is something I've used many, many times as well, and it's fantastic. Do a video newsletter. Jump on camera like this. Give your clients some tips. Tell them a funny story. Tell them a story about something that you've, maybe a pest job you were out on that was crazy. One of my buddies is just, he's been all over the news recently because they got iguanas in a swimming pool, but in the jets. And, that's big news, right? And that's also kind of entertaining, really, when you think about it, right? So jump on video, talk about it, get it out there. Your brand is still getting recognized. Your brand is still getting remembered. And you're building up trust all the time. And they may enjoy it that much that they share it with somebody else. So guys, don't think that newsletters in your pest control company is no use and you can just use a marketing tool like some of these service industry tools that's all about upsell. Maybe just for once think about creating the relationships and growing the relationships from within and creating the bond that lasts. That could be the first step, is generating that newsletter, an exciting newsletter. So let me know, guys, in the comments or wherever you're watching this or if you're listening to this, hit me up. Let me know about maybe an idea you've got for a newsletter or maybe you do one and you're going to change it up a little bit, or maybe you want some ideas on maybe how to approach your newsletter in a more unique way. In which case, I'm happy to help you. Just reach out to me and I'll have a look at what you're doing and I'll come up with a couple of ideas. So go out there, enjoy it, get your newsletter going, create bonds, create relationships, create trust, and develop and grow your business because of those things. God bless.